Welcome again to the second unit of the presentation in English. So the first one, I also mentioned to you about the fonts and the font size and some of the basic rules for the presentations in English. So I just would like to repeat it again one more time. That's about the font size you have to use as Arial, Tahoma, and the Veranda. And about the font size, you have to make sure that with the headings and the title you have to use for the text fonts of 40 and subheadings, subtitles for 32, and the main content gonna be 24. Okay, so now we move on into some of the rules, the basic rules and the basic standard to do the business presentation in English. About caps and the italics. So about the caps mean capitals. So we do not use all capital letters in the whole content of the presentation slide. Why? Because it makes the text so hard to read. For example, if you see here, you see that when I do not use all the capital letters. And if you imagine that sentence gonna be written for all of the slide, everything on the slide gonna be that's a capital. So it's so stressful for your eyes, right? So that's why the first reason we have to make sure that we make the text easy to read and easy to comprehend. The second thing is that's to conceal the acronyms. Sometimes the acronyms created when you use the capitals. And the third one, we deny their use for emphasis. So which just means that normally when you use the capitals because you want to emphasize something. But now if you use all the letters in your slide by the capitals, which just means that all the content you want to convey in the emphasis way. So don't do that, to make sure that you use it in appropriate time. About italics. Normally the italics that you have to use for the quotes. For example, you quote something from the book. You quote something from the sentence of someone who said it before. Or you can use it to highlight the thoughts or the ideas. And you normally use italics for the books or the journal or the magazine titles. About the user template, as we discussed before, we need to make sure that all the slides gonna be consistent, which means that all the slides gonna be organized in the same way, in the same style. Don't change the style from slide to another slide, because if you do that, you make the audience feel stressful with your presentations, because you keep changing your style, which means that your slide is not stable. And as I say, the different style is also disconcerting to the audience. And if you want the audience to focus on what you present, not the way you present, which just means that you want the audience to focus on the content that you want to send the message, not just the way that you decorate your slide or your template. And for the business presentation, it needs to be standard, which just means that you need to use the same background on every slide. That is the do thing. And don't use multiple backgrounds in your presentation. Changing your style is distracting. It's about the colors. When you use the colors on the slides, you have to make sure that you have to combine the correct color. It's gonna create some good visual effects. But if you do it wrong, sometimes it makes the audience stressful and distracted and unattentive. For example, if you see here, as I have some of the color code for you, red and orange are highly energetic, which just means that those colors show you that's a very strong, energetic way. But it's also, those colors also could be very difficult to stay focused on, okay, because a lot of energetic there. Green, blues, and brown are mellower. Mellows, which means that's the middle colors. So that's why those colors are not the attention grabbing. If you want to grab the attention from the audience, so you should use it in the right way. Red and greens can be difficult to see for those who are the colorblind. Okay, you don't know who gonna be your audience. So your audience could be disabled people. So that's why you have to be concerned when using the color in the right way. And those combinations in the color can make the people stressful and tired. For example, green on blue. So you can see that this is the green text on the blue background. So you see it's so hard to read the content. The dark yellow on green, so the text is a dark yellow on the green background. It's so hard to read the content also. The purple on blue, completely stressful to read the text that you want to send a message to the audience. Orange on green, exactly the same way. Red on green. So those combinations need to be avoided. So which color are going to be the best way for you? White on a dark background, dark on the white background could be the good combination. But be careful if you use a white on the dark background, so you should use it if it's just less than 20 feet away. But if it's more than 20 feet away, you should not be use it. Okay? If you do the large hold events, which is mean that you're gonna present for the big events, even like more than 200 audience, so you should avoid the white background. Why you have to do that? Because in the white background, in the big hole, so normally there are a lot of windows in the room, so it's gonna be make the flashing to the eyes of the audience. So make sure that the white screen need to be used in a careful way. And the white screen can be blinding in a dark room. So the dark slides with the light color text could work best. So this is the color wheel. So for the combinations, so you can see that it's like 1, 1, 1. This is a color red combined with yellow and the blue. So it could be combined. So this is the color wheel that you're gonna check it out to see whether that is gonna be the right combinations. So as I show you here, this is a good mix of colors. The black text on that blue background, so it seems to be the good match. Or this one also the readable. This is a good mix of the colors. The white text on the black background, but this one so hard to read. This one a little bit contrast. Okay. Graph and charts. If your presentations and you need to illustrate by graphs and charts, so you have to make sure that you have to read some of the slide below. I'm gonna talk with you about some of the do and don't things for the graphs and charts. So for example, this graphics, you can see that it's so hard to read the numbers and so hard to understand the graphics here, and you even don't know that's what the number gonna be to present the some data here. So be careful when using the graphics and charts. So this one is a don't recommend to use. This one, oh, it's so confusing. So if you check it here, you cannot even know that so which number gonna be here, what the activities for the each divisions here, but we don't know what is it. And we don't know what this is represented for, so it's so hard to understand. Don't use it. So the good graph, which just means that's a nice light white and good color. So for example, here at least that you can see the data, all right, for the relative sensitivity, and this the the horizontal and the vertical axis seem to be very clear. Okay. Is a do thing. And this one so hard to see because just the one color of the mode bead. As you see, the mode bead is the same color of the background, so that's why basically you cannot see the data on the mode bead in the North America, Europe, and Australia area. So be careful when you use as a chart and the graphs in case that you want to put the color on it. So make sure that you check onto the color wheels. And this one, okay, you can see clearly the color different in the number of data and seem to be organized and easy to see. Okay, this is a table here. With the table, if you look at the table here, very clear columns and rows, every row with the detail of the informations. So illustrations, which just means that you can put it some kind of animated pictures, animated video clips. That could be recommended, but sometimes don't use it too much, because if you use it too much, it's gonna bring too much trouble too. So we just use the illustration only when needed. Otherwise, they become the distractors instead of the communicators. So if you use a lot of illustrations, it's gonna be distracted to the audience, and basically the audience gonna forget what you want to tell them. They should relate to the message and help to make the point. If you use illustrations about the food, you need to get some kind of picture of the food. Don't get the pictures of the vehicles on the street. So that is gonna be irrelevant. Okay, so make sure that illustrated pictures, illustrated video clip need to highlight the message and help you to make the point clearer. So ask yourself if it makes the message clearer, and simply diagram could be the great communicators. Okay, about the bullets. So make sure that every slide, you don't need to put a lot of the bullet points. And if you put a lot of bullet points again, it's gonna be distracted somehow. And make sure that every slide needs to be organized in an easy way to catch the attention, to grab the attention of the student. If you crowd too much text, the audience won't read it. As I mentioned to you before, there's the one big dumb thing that for doing the presentations, that don't put whole of the text on the slide. Because if you put a lot of text on the slide, the audience cannot read all of it, and it makes the audience tired, okay, and bored. All right, so make sure that try to put the text in an organized ways, easy to understand, easy to read. For example here, that limit animations, and I have a lot of text down here to explain for the one part the limit animations, so that could be stressful for the audience to understand. So just some points to remember. Try to use a bullet point script. So if you use the bullet point like this for the dot, so make sure that it's going to be consistent. Use the same background for a slide. Use the dark slides with the light color text in the large whole events. And if you're in the small room or maybe in the last room, make sure that you use that the black text on the white background, or the white text on the black background. Alright? And avoid the over slide with a lot of a lot of words on the slide. That is not a good choice. And about the limit animations, as I mentioned before, so don't need to use a lot of animations, but if you use the same one over and over the slide, that is not a good idea either. So make sure that you use as a limit animations and use it with the appropriate content.
I'll just send him a message. You don't have to involve you in that.
Okay, so about just you, I just give you the very brief content and the brief summary for you. Do not use the media to hide you, which is mean that don't use that animation just to present whatever you want to say. You need to make sure that your content is that's good. Okay, because the content is more important than some of the visual effects. And the audience came to see you. So that's why they don't need to look at the slide all the time with all the funny video or the funny animated picture. Alright? The media should enhance the presentations, not be the presentation, which just means that the media is just a tool for you to support you to get the attention from the audience, but not that's the way you present. If you're only going to read it from slide to slide, so then you just send them. They don't need to come to listen to your presentation. As you can see here, every point here, I try to make it clearer for you. I try to give you with example to make sure that you understand each point I want to say. I don't just read the slide. I try to explain to you based on the main content of the slide. So that is the way you're gonna do your presentations. Okay, so keep it basic rules. Make the bullet points easy to read. Okay, as I mentioned to you, the bullet point need to be consistent, need to be exactly the same in every slide, and same in things that keep the text easy to understand. Don't try to use some of the terminology that's just only you in the room to understand that. You have to make sure that all of your audience can understand it too. So use subtext but easy to understand. Choose the words wisely to make sure that the words easy to understand for everyone. Use the concise wording. Make sure that every word you use that's exactly what you want to tell them. The bullets are focal points. Presenter provides the elaborations. What does this mean? It means that the presenter needs to explain more, needs to give more example. The presenter needs to enhance the content in a different way and tell to the audience to make sure that the audience completely understand every point they want to convey. And keep the font size large enough. Don't give them too much info at once. What does this mean? It means that don't put all the information gonna be in the one slide. Okay, you have to do it gradually. Stick with the same transitions. For example, you use some of the transition to move from one point to another point in the presentation's effects. So make sure that you're gonna stick with exactly the same. Be creative, but leave some color choices to professionals. Okay, you need to be creative if you want to be the good presenter, but you also leave the space for the audience to understand. And if you can do that, so make sure that 6 words per slide. So every slide on your slide, it's going to be 6 words. That's going to be the perfect number. And the 6 slides per page. So every slide is going to be 6 slides. Okay, 6 slides, which means 6 sentences like this. Okay, this one got to be the 1 slide, 2 slides, 3 slides, 4 slides, and 5 slides. So 5 slides, that's good. Okay, because we have the maximum of 6 slides per page. But as I say, this one is gonna be the standardized formal way to do the business presentations. In case that of your presentation that you need to use more than 6 words, it could be okay, but don't need to use a lot. Or even you can do even 7 or 8 slides per page, which is fine. Okay, so don't over worry. Okay, so now there's a step to create the presentations, and then I'm gonna show you that's the exercise that you're gonna do it at home, and make sure that you can understand completely about how to do the presentations, and make sure that you're gonna follow exactly what I just teach you for the whole lessons from the last week until now. So first, if you want to do this business presentations, as I discussed with you and I suggest to you, so you should use the Microsoft Office for Microsoft PowerPoint. Okay, so you have to open the PowerPoint, as everybody might know that how to open this PowerPoint. So I just give you the brief introductions here. You open the Microsoft Office, Microsoft PowerPoint, create a new file, follow the bold guidelines to make sure that you're gonna make the good presentations.
Sorry, my German stove is beeping at me. Everything beeps. Have you noticed that?
Okay, so I'm gonna show you this exercise that you need to do. So this is gonna be the 3 companies with some basic information here. So I want you to go home and choose one of the 3 companies here. Try to make the presentations with enough information. Okay, with the head office, activities, customer, annual turnover, annual net profit, operations, strengths, future plans.
I did that.
Okay,
actually.
for the annual turnover and the annual net profit,
I said, Tin, you're going
so
to
you
have
can
to do
use the
this
charts or the graph to illustrate for the data, for the numbers. And the head office, activities, customer, operations, strengths, and future plans, that you can use the basic slide to present the idea. In case that you want to put in and add in more information about those companies, that could be great. Okay, so good luck for your homework, and I'm gonna give you the deadline after this video clip come out, and I'm gonna show you how you're gonna submit it when the deadline gonna come. Okay, so have fun and have a nice day, you guys.